Yeah, I'm listening. Yes, Chuck, I hear you.
Oh, come on, love. It's not that complicated. Just phone the sitter, come into the city, and pick me up at the office. The whole gang here is going down to the village to listen to some jazz.
Well, it's just that, I don't know, everything gets so noisy, and everyone's talking at once, and I just get shy, that's all.
Okay, then forget it. I'll come home. No, dear, I'm not bored with you. I am not bored living out there. I love living out there.
Chuck, we've got some new neighbors.
What do you mean, what do I think about it? I think it's great. How you doing? Holding my own. Just holding my own.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, sport, how's it going?
We got a problem.
Why?
I can't get my neck broken in.
Oh, well, give it time. It's getting there. Look, just keep working those fingers down like I told you and put them in that pocket, all right? Now, where's your old lady?
His old lady's in here with that enchanting Mrs. Michael.
Hi, Polly.
Hi, darling.
Hi there.
The fashion show was a complete disaster. You know, I keep seeing these things in Vogue, and I keep thinking that I'm going to look like one of those models, awfully pale and interesting. Nothing. I look like a hockey player. Here, you show him, honey. There. Now, why can't I look like that delicate southern creature? I swear, this neighborhood is getting so fashionable, I don't know how we're going to keep up with it anymore.
How about a drink, Polly?
No, thanks. I've got a casserole in the oven. Nice visiting with you all. Why don't you come over to our house sometime? We'll have some pork chops and chicken. Bye, kids. Bye-bye.
Bye, Polly. Oh, that's some dame, that Polly. She really knocks me out.
That's the kind of girl you should have married.
Okay, let's not start.
No, really, I mean it.
Well, at least she doesn't get bugged by every little thing, doesn't get upset, doesn't keep coming up with a problem for every solution.
She seemed pretty upset when she came over here.
About what?
All new neighbors.
Is it Polly who's upset or you? Baby, listen. It's just that sometimes when people are anxious about something and don't want to admit it, they unconsciously hanging on to somebody else, right?
Could be.
Now, you know my feelings on the subject. People are people, period. That's what you believe, too, isn't it?
Yes.
You really do, don't you?
Yes. I think so. Yes.
Okay, then. Suppose you make us a drink. How'd you do?
95, no, 96.
And me?
85.
Go another 18?
Are you out of your mind? I'm a city boy. The only exercise I ever get is running after subway trains. I'm bushed. You know, it kills me to admit it, but you still look like you're in college. You could be on your way to football practice.
Clean living and country air.
Well, some people got it made. What's your problem?
What do I have the problem? Can't a guy invite his old roommate out to shoot a little golf without you making a
Every
big...
time you call me on the phone, you say, hey, Neil, hey, old buddy. I know 10 to 1 I'm going to have my brain sick.
Okay. You're a social worker. You get around, slums, tenements, all kinds of kooky neighborhoods, huh?
Yeah.
You know any gypsies?
Gypsies?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm working for this public relations outfit. We've got a client that's bringing out a new station wagon, the Gypsy. We're going to unveil it at the auto show, and I thought it'd be interesting to have some real gypsies. Brilliant, huh? I don't like the idea. I don't like the idea. Well, listen, there is something I'd like to ask you. Don't you have any experience in a white neighborhood where a Negro family moves in?
Oh, so that's your problem, huh?
Well, what happens usually?
It all depends. Some places, nothing happens. Some places, you get the whole riot scene. Burning crosses, busted heads, everything.
Look, I live in Long Island, but... No, these are, you know, nice-looking family. Just from appearances, you can see they're intelligent, well-educated.
Bloody minute. They live near you?
Next door.
Oh, since when?
4 days ago. Look, I don't have to tell you I'm delighted.
What about the rest of them?
Well, I mean, nobody's heaved any rocks through their windows. There's just this kind of tension, wisecracks, that sort of stuff. Well, part of the problem is where they just turned up, bang, walked in cold.
Yeah, sometimes a little preparation helps.
We were off on vacation when the fellow owns the place, Jameson, got exactly 10 days' notice his company was transferring him to Canada. So he shoved the place on the market and took the first decent bid the broker could get him. Neil, this Negro family, I was just wondering if there was any way I could do a little checking up on them. You know, college background, what the guy does for a living, that sort of stuff. So when somebody makes a crack, I can pin his ears back.
Dear sir, I have got this problem. There's this family that lives next to me, and I would like to find out about them. Sign perplexed.
No, I just...
Perplexed? Why don't you look them up in the social register? Or you could do it the hard way. You could just, spend a little time with them. I'm trying to kid. You know how to find out about somebody. The most sociable person I ever met. I've seen you invite the milkman in for a beer.
Nothing like a little advice from your friendly neighborhood social worker.
Feel free anytime.
Thanks. That's very nice of you. But I'm afraid Saturday isn't a very good... Well, we're not really settled in yet, and maybe we could just take a rain check this time. Well, we'll try, but I'd rather you didn't count on us. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Lady next door asking us to drop over for drinks on Saturday.
Congratulations. Nice going.
Mary Amy, get me the scissors, will you, sweetie?
Now, why did you have to act like that?
Like what?
Those folks call on trying to be pleasant. You come on like 60 degrees below zero.
Oh, thanks, honey. Now, it's bath time. You go get undressed. I'll be right in.
May I have bubbles?
Mm-hmm. Now, scoot. And don't flood the place, you hear?
I don't get you. I mean, sometimes I really don't get you.
Gracious lady decides she's going to do us a big favor. Her good deed for the year. Well, what do you want me to do, honey? Send her a bouquet of roses?
Why don't you wait and see what they're like?
Well, I know what they're like. And I know what that party will be like, too. There'll be the ladies there asking me what I think of James Baldwin, and the men will keep telling you how much they admire Jackie Robinson.
Well, why don't you give him a chance? You don't give him a chance, man. I know you. You got on that phone and you heard that Magnolia accent and you froze.
That's right.
Now, listen, you wanted to move out here just as much as I did.
For the schools and to get away from that bug-ridden fire trap of an apartment.
Well, we're here, baby. And there are neighbors. And you got to give them a chance. We are going to go to that party, and you're going to be a sweet, nice, friendly lady. Yeah? You're going to be just as sweet as you can be.
Chuck and I were hoping y'all could... Chuck. That's his name. Charlie, Mr. Charlie.
Oh, you're mean. You are a mean woman. Yeah, I love you, baby, but I don't like your low-down ways.
Mr. Stevenson?
That's right.
Mr. Hogarth, Transisle Realty. I understand you're kind of anxious to get rid of this house.
Get rid of...
Well, get it on the market, put up for sale.
Oh, where'd you get an idea like that?
You know how it is, word gets round.
I'm afraid you got a bump steer.
No? Well, you might want to think about it. Oh, with that new lady and gentleman you got moved in next door, you're going to have a tough time getting any kind of price for this place.
I'm not interested in selling.
A couple of months from now, it'll only be worse. Oh, with our dark brothers pouring in.
I said I'm not interested.
Well, it's your funeral. Unless, of course, you don't mind being the last white couple in Maple Gardens.
All right, that's enough. Beat it.
You might want to take my car just in case.
I said beat it.
We're open nights. You can call me anytime. Blockbusters.
That's what it's called. Blockbusting.
You get one Negro family in a white community, and you spread the rumor around that the whole neighborhood is going to go all Negro, and you panic the whites into selling cheap.
But why? If they're scared enough about what's going to happen to property values, they're willing to take a little loss.
You jack up the price and sell to Negroes. They're trying to fight their way out of the ghettos, out of the slums. They're desperate. They don't have any choice.
And that's how the blockbusters clean up, on the turnover.
That's not fair. I mean, making money out of it.
You wouldn't believe the cute little tricks they've got to pressure white people into moving out of their nice little suburban community.
Oh, yeah. They buy a house and break it into a lot of rented rooms. Then they cram it full of beaten up, broken down characters from the back streets of Harlem and let them go rent free.
No garbage cans, no maintenance, cut off the water every other day.
Deliberately let the house get to be a pigsty. Makes the whites feel the streets turn into a slum.
Well, they can't pull stuff like that in our community like ours. There's a zoning law against rooming houses.
Yeah, the trouble is the courts are swamped with housing cases. It may take a year for the case to get on.
There must be something you can do to stop them.
It's been done. You want to try?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
Look, forgive me, but if this is just a whim, I mean, if you're just upset, you know, and you think it's not fair, I think we ought to call the whole thing off, because it's liable to be a very long, very dirty, very heartbreaking battle, and it's not for amateurs, believe me. I mean, we go into this, we go all the way to the finish. Deal?
Deal.
You want to think about it?
No, I don't have to think about it.
Okay. What do you say we start with that party you say was Saturday?
Yeah, at 5.
Yeah, well, I got to take a street gang out to Coney Island. I'll try to get back as soon as I can.
How many have you invited?
With us, about a dozen.
Well, do you think you could handle more? Say about 30?
I think so.
Yeah, I'll just have to borrow some more glasses.
Try to make it a cross-section of the community. Concentrate on the ones you're not sure of, the question marks.
Keep your eyes open. You can learn an awful lot at parties.
Try to think of it as a kind of pilot test. Find out how people out there feel about the Marsdens.
I can tell you what they feel about the Marsdens.
No. Not how you think they feel.
Coming up, one dry martini.
Ooh, looks lethal.
No such thing as strong martinis, only weak people.
Well, if you ask me, this neighborhood's in for some real trouble. You know, you get crabgrass on one lawn. Before you know it, it's all over the place. It's murder.
Where is everybody?
Relax, it's only 5:30. Nobody ever shows up to these things on time.
I'll get it.
Hi. Where's Jerry? Well, I just stopped by for a second. He has a rotten headache, and the baby's running a temperature.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm afraid we can't make it.
Oh, well, come on in anyhow, just for a minute, just for one drink.
Well, no, I can't. I've got to run.
Come on, one drink.
No, really.
Oh, come on, Polly, please.
Well, if Jerry can manage without you for 15 minutes, it won't kill him.
If you don't mind, I'd rather not. I should have telephoned. Jerry said it would be easier, but I told him, well, they're our friends. I might as well be honest about it. Jerry doesn't have a headache, and the baby isn't running a temperature. Well, your new neighbor's coming in. We just thought we'd skip this.
Oh.
Well, let's face it. They're not everybody's cup of tea. Or should I say chocolate? Well, I mean, there's no use pretending, is there?
There you go.
I swear I think I spent half my life in the beauty shop. That's what I get for insisting on being a blonde. I've got this fair skin. Just a wee drop. Marty says I can get plastered on a thimble.
Hey, now, you listen to that, buddy. See, that's what I call a trumpet. He used to play when we were in college.
Oh.
Try to line it out like Louis Armstrong. I got nothing against Louis, but personally, I happen to be a Miles Davis man. How about you? Come on, you must have some preference. Who do you dig?
Bach. I dig Mozart, too, but mostly Bach.
Well, it's about time. Good to see you. Come on in. Come on in. Neil, can I see you for a minute, please?
I'm so sorry. Excuse me. I'll be right back.
Your husband is very easy with new people.
He's a charmer in our family.
Oh, well, that's something that I always admire in Chuck, too. He can just meet a total stranger and just start right in talking. He loves giving parties, and they just scare me half to death. I mean, I'm not very good at small talk, you know, and I just can't think of anything to say, and then it makes me feel so dumb.
No, I think it's a talent. Either you have it or you don't.
But now, you know, once in a blue moon, I can just meet somebody and just start right in talking like now. And then I say to myself, well, now you see, it is possible. You're not absolutely hopeless.
This house cost me $27,500. Now, I had a broker here this morning. He offered me $23,000 for it, and I can do better than that. I thought you liked it out here. It's a nice neighborhood. I've got nothing against the neighborhood. Just got a hunch a lot of people are going to be moving out of here soon. There's going to be a stampede. I don't want to get trampled.
It doesn't have to be a stampede. Property values don't go down if people just sit tight.
Think so? Well, you've got a right to your opinion. That's what makes horse races.
It's a fact.
That may be a fact, but people around here don't know it.
Maybe somebody ought to tell them.
Hello, Mr. Whitman. This is Mr. Hogarth of Transisle Realty. I understand you're interested in selling your home out at Maple Gardens.
We'll take it today and give you $26,000, cash on the barrelhead. But I'm not making any promises about tomorrow.
Of course, time is what counts. Once our dark brothers start pouring in, you got yourselves a problem.
When I married Chuck, it was all I could do to slice a tomato. What's that you're putting in?
Juniper berries.
In lamb?
Mm-hmm. Trick I learned from this woman I used to work for. One of the jobs I took part-time to help get through college was to cook for this family.
Now, see, there you go. Now, there's the difference between you and me. At the end of my first year of college, my daddy's business went down the drain. I had to quit. Now, it never would have occurred to me to get a job. I mean, the idea of a girl working just wasn't in my background.
Wasn't in mine either. My mother, you know, was one of those very proper, genteel ladies. Very family proud, you know. Loved telling how my great-great-grandfather was a frontier scout who went out west leading the wagon trains. She considers the only suitable occupation for a woman.
I know. Giving piano lessons or teaching school.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she did teach us how to cook and keep house and things like that, but that was something you did just for your husband, you know, never for strangers. First time I worked as a hired girl in somebody else's kitchen, I felt like, oh, I hated it. Mornings I'd be in class, you know, and afternoons I'd be slaving over the stove. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Eating leftovers, putting out the garbage, scrubbing the floor. Well, I wanted to get through college, so when I went to school, you know, domestic work was the only kind of work you could get. Huh. Whew, amazing. Things you'll do to make yourself do if it's important enough. You want some more coffee?
Oh, yeah. First time I went out with Chuck, he said to me, "Baby, you've got a lot to learn." Story of my life.
12 years in the game, it's been my experience that once the colored start moving in, there's just nothing you can do about it. You get one, you get an avalanche. No, what we're trying to do is help the community, not hinder it. We're trying to help our white investors.
Hiya, Dad.
Hiya, Mike. Hey, what are you, a cowboy or an Indian?
Hi, Don.
Hi, Dave.
Tough day? Oh, package came for you.
What is it?
A surprise. Wait till you see it. I saw it in the store window, you know, and I got this sudden urge.
What is it?
It's a tape deck, a tape recorder. Hooks into the hi-fi. Yeah. And now... It's a fantastic instrument. Best thing on the market. It's something, huh?
Wasn't that kind of expensive?
Arm and a leg.
You think we can afford it?
What do you know is living on what they can afford? So we'll be in hock another 350 more. It won't kill us. Hey, Mike, run out to the garage and see if you can find that little toolkit. You know the one we used to hook up the hi-fi? Here, dump this over there. Now. How's it coming? Lining up people for the meeting.
Oh, well, I put up a notice at the school.
You can't just do it with notices, baby. You've got to get around and talk to people.
You mean just go around ringing doorbells? You mean just go barging into people's houses?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I wouldn't know what to say. Well, I mean, that's just something you just don't do. I wasn't brought up that way.
Sure, that's right. You're a polite, well-bred young Southern lady.
What makes you so superior? It has nothing to do with the South. It's me. It's the way I am, is all.
Okay.
I don't like what's happening here, and I don't think it's fair, and I'm trying to fight it. I am trying. But I just can't walk into a strange house and commence talking.
Okay, then skip it.
Chuck, you mad at me?
No.
Disappointed?
No.
I guess it's true. Me being from down home might make it more convincing if I was to tell people how I feel. I have come a long way.
I know.
I don't suppose it'll kill me if I go a step further.
I was invited here to answer questions, but before we do that, there's just one thing I'd like to say. You're not the first people that this has happened to, and I doubt very much if you'll be the last. You've read the headlines. You've been exposed to a very heavy dose of the nasty situations, the hatred, the violence. That is, after all, what sells newspapers. But there are other incidents which occur which are just important, but which don't necessarily make headlines. The hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of towns where integration has occurred without an explosion. The first Negro children going into a school in Virginia. The first Negro family moving into a housing project in Ohio. Negro surgeon is appointed to a hospital staff. A Negro stewardess goes to work for an airline, and so forth. Now, of course, there are anxieties. There are tensions. There are preparations that have to be made. There are feelings that have to be changed. There are fears that have to be dealt with. It takes patience, and it takes time.
If there are any questions...
Louder, please.
Oh, shut up, Charlie.
Polly?
Do I understand you to say that the real estate people are telling us a flat-out lie? That the Marsdens moving here won't lower property values?
Well, I said it depends on what you do.
Maybe I'm not very bright, but I don't understand.
Well, the blockbusters want you to think that this is the beginning of a flood, that the whole neighborhood is going to turn into a slum.
What kind of proof do we have that it won't?
Well, it can go two ways. You can panic and run, and the houses go up for sale, and property values take a beating. Or you can simply be stubborn. You can have some courage, and you can sit tight. And nothing happens. Not a thing.
Well, you're saying that...
I'm saying it's up to you.
Mr. Langner?
I teach math over at the high school. Spend my spare time correcting the homework you people do for your children. Well, see, school is more than blackboards and desks. We're supposed to help teach these kids a way of life. If that means anything, it has to include the rights of the minority.
What about the rights of the majority?
The right to mark keep out on a public street. If you want me to spell it out, we've got no intention of moving.
If I may, I'd like to suggest that you form a committee to go around and talk to every householder in Maple Gardens. Explain the facts, reassure them, convince them not to sell.
Suppose we can't convince them.
Well, then ask them to give you a promise that before they make a deal with any blockbuster, they'll give you a chance to find a buyer for the house.
Find a buyer where?
Well, ask around among your friends and relatives and business associates. Let it be known that you'd like to be put in touch with anybody who's looking for a house.
Well, you all know me, Charlie Welty, certified public accountant. I'm strictly a dollars and cents man. Now, let's just start by getting one thing straight. I got nothing against any color. Pink, purple, polka dot, or black. Now, it may be what this gentleman tells us is true about property values holding. And maybe not. I paid $28,000 for my place, plus another $3,000 for improvement. Real estate broker come by last week and offered me $26,000. Same guy came over this evening, offered me $24,000. Now, that's exactly $2,000 this week cost me. Now, let me tell you, I can't afford to lose that kind of money. If you're crazy enough to stay in Maple Gardens, that's your business. But my house goes up for sale first thing in the morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
You had your coffee yet?
Mm-hmm. Oh, how did the meeting go last night?
Well, one guy wanted to sell, one guy didn't. The rest of them... Well, it's hard to say. You know how people are. They like to play it safe. See your dentist twice a year, and carry an umbrella, and keep your neck in and your mouth shut.
What about the Marsdens?
What about them?
Did they have anything to say?
They weren't there.
Oh?
No, Chuck thought it best not to invite them. Well, he just thought that people might feel freer to speak if they weren't there, you know, to let us get a chance to see where we stood.
Oh, I see.
Well, it seemed to make sense.
Oh. I thought this meeting was open to all the residents of Maple Gardens.
All right, I made a mistake.
Don't worry about our enemies. Protect us from our friends.
Well, I said it was a mistake. Mrs. Marston?
Yes?
Brock, remember we met at the party this evening?
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry, Bobby, but it's about the Welty house. We're trying to find a buyer for it, and we thought maybe if you might know of anybody?
Anybody?
Well, provided
Provided what?
you can afford it.
No other providers?
That's all.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
You got a customer?
Well, that sounds great.
A responsible businessman, wife, 3 children.
You think you'll like it here?
His wife's crazy about growing things. That little apartment back in the city's got plants coming out of its ears. She's dying for a garden.
Oh, well, then it'd just be perfect for them.
You should be here in a few minutes.
We thought it'd be a good idea if you and Ann met him first, and you can take him over and introduce him to Welty.
Yeah, fine. Only,
Only what?
well, nothing. I just wonder if it's the smartest kind of timing.
Well, what's timing got to do with it?
You're right. Okay, sure, why not?
Do you think that might be him?
I guess.
Listen, there are 200 houses in this development. It's plenty large enough to take 2 Negro families.
Mr.
Come
Brock?
on in.
Stevenson, Mr. Adams.
Mr. Adams, how do you do?
Brock.
How do you do?
Would you like a cup of coffee?
Thank you kindly. I don't think so. I had a couple of beers on my way out.
Well, sit down, please, Mr. Adams.
You told me you were looking for somebody to buy the Welty house. The first one I got in touch with was Mr. Adams.
Yes, sir. I've known this old boy here for years. Since there's no high in a frog's knee. I used to work with his daddy.
Where was that?
Down in the Flatiron building running the elevator. Of course, that was way back before your time.
Did, Mr. Marsden mention the price Mr. Welty's asking?
$31,000. That right?
You think that's something you could manage?
Well, Mr. Adams is in construction. He owns a fleet of, how many?
11. 11 dump trucks, 4 cement mixers, and a couple, 3 restaurants.
Well, then it shouldn't be any problem.
I like this old boy here. I had to work hard for a living. I had no daddy to see me through high school, and nobody give me no scholarship to, what's the name of that barber school?
MIT.
Well, you really worked yourself up.
Yeah, I'm a self-made man, but I'm all for a boy getting himself an education. You know, I did get a price on a house over here, quoted to me. And I got a hunch it might just very well turn out to be the same one. The Trans-Isle Realty Company said they'd been dickering for it.
What did they quote you?
$38,000.
38,000 for a house out here?
That's the way them boys work. You gotta expect that. Can't get it like you want it. Take it like you get it.
Well, Mr. Brock wanted me to meet you so I could say I knew you. I'll talk to Mr. Welty, try to make an appointment.
Oh, but Chuck,
I'll
Mr.
talk to
Welty
him.
said he...
Mr. Marsden got your phone number?
He's got it.
I'll get in touch with you.
Goodbye, Mr. Adams.
I'll go to the door with you. Come on.
Pleasant talking to you folks.
What is it?
Get in touch with him? When's he going to have time to get in touch with him?
What do you mean?
Didn't Chuck tell you? Mr. Welty has decided to close a deal with the blockbusters. He said if we had anybody else who wanted to buy the house, we've got just 24 hours.
Now, how about a drink? Fix you up a nice... What's the matter? What's everybody staring at? What are we playing, Phantom of the Opera?
Why did you say you'd get in touch with him?
Mr. Welty said...
I know what Mr. Welty said. He told us we have 24 hours to come up with a buyer. Okay? We didn't find one.
What do you mean?
He means that Mr. Adams doesn't meet the social standards of Maple Garden.
Do you think so? Oh, come on, now, he's a perfectly nice old man, but...
But you wanted a white Negro and you got a black one.
I'm telling you, he isn't the type for this community.
What if he were white? What about? A rough, uneducated, decent sort of a guy who made it the hard way. A guy who could never be your particular friend. Is that any reason for keeping him out of here? We have a different yardstick for measuring a Negro, don't we? If he went to Harvard, if he plays golf, if he looks like a Boston gentleman and talks like a Philadelphia lawyer, why, fine, let him be brown, only not too brown. Yeah, your husband believes in equality. But Mr. Adams was the but.
Neil, I
know. I'll see you around.
But who gave you the right? Who gave you the right to decide what a man should look like? Who are you, God?
Oh, I'm not God. I'm just a guy trying to do the best he can, trying to fight for something important.
No, I know.
Annie, there are certain things you can't expect of people. Oh, maybe in some dream world, but not here. Now, these are perfectly decent people. They'll accept a Marsden, but not a Mr. Adams. Not yet. They're just not ready for it yet.
But they say they're worried about property values. Now here's somebody who's ready and willing to buy. Isn't that an answer? I mean, if we can keep coming up with buyers and stop the blockbusters from making their killing, it might discourage them.
Oh, all right. Do it your way.
I'll tell Mr. Welty that we've got him a customer, all right?
All right. Do it your way. Easy for Neil, standing there like Moses on the mountain, handing out the judgment. Though he's the only man in the world with a pure white soul. Sure, principles are great. I'm all for principles. Only I've got a few other things to think about.
Don't look like that. It just kills me when you look like that.
Oh, Annie, but Annie. Annie with the greed eye. Oh, be with me, baby. You've got to be with me. I need you. I need you.
What? You never said that.
Annie. I talk so much. I talk so easy. There's so many things I can never say. Because, I don't know, pride, shame. Because I don't want to worry you. A million reasons. Oh, sure, Welty can get his money back. But suppose everybody starts to run for the hills. Suppose 100 houses go up for sale. You think there's going to be an endless line of customers waiting with that money in their hands? Oh, we'll be stuck, baby. We'll take a beating. Annie, we're in hock up to our necks. A mortgage to pay off. Another installment on something every time I turn around. I'm scared, baby. I'm scared. Because there are certain things we can't afford. Everything we own in this world is tied up in this house. We can't afford a beating. We can't afford it.
But we don't have to sell.
Oh, don't be a child. What planet do you live on? Oh, baby, what planet do you live on?
Fine then, and you let me know just when I can take possession. But the first of the month. Well, that's okay with me. Right. Nice.
Thank you.
Don't thank me, just good business. Coming up, medium rare.
David?
Okay, if I go shoot some baskets over Hank's?
Well, I don't know,
She
honey.
can come what? You want a what?
Go ahead.
Good.
How's the hamburgers?
Great.
Oh, delicious.
Wanted to make barbecued spare ribs. That's my specialty, but Marilyn vetoed it. Considered it just a little bit too colored for comfort.
Now, that's not the reason.
Now, come on, baby, admit it. Very sensitive. She wouldn't touch watermelon until she was 20.
That's just the way I am. I cannot abide shrimp Creole. Polly? Hi. You want to see us?
I'd like to talk to you.
Sure, come on. You don't mind if Mrs. Michaels...
Come on, make you a hamburger.
No, thanks.
Come on.
Can I get you some coffee?
No, thank you. Jerry and I just got a glimpse of the gentleman who's moving into the Welty house across the street. We understand that you and Chuck are responsible for getting him into Maple Gardens.
Yeah, that's right.
Forgive me, sweetie, but if I feel something, I'm sure you just as soon I came right out and said it.
Why don't we go over to our house?
No, go ahead, Mrs. Michaels, say it.
All right. We weren't exactly thrilled when you people moved into this neighborhood.
Polly.
The day you arrived, Jerry just wanted to pack up and leave. I held him back. I didn't want to go to all the expense and all the trouble of finding a new place, selling, pulling the kids out of school.
Polly, if you don't mind, let's just discuss this over.
I didn't like them here. But I was prepared to try to live with it. I was prepared to try to get used to having a colored family in the block. Well, now there's another one across the street, and pretty soon there'll be one next door. And before you know it, those streets are going to start looking like Harlem.
Why don't you
I don't want to live in a colored slum. I don't want to live in a colored slum.
Just be
Is that so terrible? Is that prejudice? Well, that's the way we feel. Take it or leave it. We're putting up that for sale sign, and we're getting out of here just as fast as we can. I thought I'd tell you just in case you wanted to find us a buyer. And, we're not as prejudiced as you might think. We don't care how black he is.
I'm sorry. I'm ashamed that...
I'm trying to tell you, I knew this would happen. Maybe you could talk to Mr. Adams, explain how it is. Ask him to cancel the deal. I'm sure he'll understand.
You really believe I'd do that?
We ought to get a little understanding of our problem. After all, we have stuck our necks out. We've taken your side in this thing.
Taking our side. Mister, you're not doing us any favors. We've got a right to live here. You say you believe in that right? Well, maybe we're doing you the favor, giving you a chance to prove it.
Chuck, where are you going?
Call Brock, the guy who started this.
Chuck?
Now, believe me, buddy, they won't be the last ones. Wait till Adams comes in. For sale signs will be all over the lawns like a blizzard.
I don't think so. I don't believe so.
Oh, what do you know living in the city? To you, this is just another interesting social problem, something to put down in that little black book of yours. But I live here, buddy, and I know.
Polly and Jerry, that's all. Just two people.
You know, you are the child of the world. You are the child of the world. Can't you get it through your head? Those are your neighbors. Polly and Jerry are what we're living with out here. Typical A1 laboratory specimen.
What makes you so sure?
We can find out. We can give a party for Mr. Adams the way we did for the Marsden.
Sure, we'll give him a fish fry. He can tell him about the good old days running an elevator. He's not the same as the Marsdens. Can't you get that through your heads? A man like Adams has nothing in common.
He's a human being. They've got that much in common. They're all human.
When you started out in this thing, you know, nobody guaranteed you were going to win. You can lose. People can get frightened and panic and run like frightened rabbits. They can turn this place into a ghetto overnight. You fight. You do the best you can. Somebody gets shaky, you reassure them. Somebody tacks up a for sale sign, you try to talk them out of it.
We haven't got a chance.
You haven't got a chance if you don't start believing what you've been telling me all these years. You've got to make a personal decision. Doesn't matter what Polly does, doesn't matter what Weldy does, doesn't matter what anybody does. It's what you do. You got to stop playing Larry Liberal and make up your mind.
I tried to warn you. No, you couldn't see it. Now, you and Brock, you had to crucify me, make me feel like I was the Ku Klux Klan. Well, I'm through. I've had it. I want to live in a town, not a battlefield. I don't want to bring my kid up in a place where the people are at each other's throats like animals.
Chuck, if you want to... If you're looking for an excuse to run, don't use Mike. Where are we going to go? Where are we going to go? Because the battlefield isn't just out there on the streets. It's in here. And wherever we go, we take it with us.
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe you have feelings you haven't faced yet about living in a community that's part Negro. I want to stay. That surprise you?
No.
It surprises me. Maybe I don't know myself. Maybe I'm just learning. Chuck. You're my love, and I don't know you. Who are you? You're gonna have to decide, love. You're gonna have to decide.